Thank you, Ranking Member Grijalva, and thank you as well for your leadership and advocacy on behalf of the Land and Water Conservation Fund. We have a generational responsibility to protect our nation's remaining natural and historic resources for our children and our grandchildren. The Land and Water Conservation Fund has been an instrumental tool, an invaluable tool in this effort. For over 50 years, the Land and Water Conservation Fund has carried out a simple, bipartisan idea: use revenues from the depletion of one federal resource, offshore oil and gas, to conserve another, our land and water, and provide recreation opportunities for all Americans. It does not cost taxpayer money or contribute to the federal deficit, relying instead on royalties paid by oil and gas companies in exchange for their right to develop offshore resources in waters that belong to all of the American people. LWCF has also proven to be a critical tool to protect some of our nation's most significant cultural and historic sites. Protecting places that have shaped and defined who we are as a people and a country, and would not have been protected without support from the federal government. This past weekend, I was honored to host Secretary of the Interior Sally Jewell at my annual River Day, an event I have held in my district for the past 9 years that celebrates the rivers that connect the 3rd Congressional District of Massachusetts and the many partners who work to protect these resources that provide clean drinking water, create tremendous recreational opportunities, and bring natural beauty to our daily life. As part of River Day, Secretary Jewell and I visited Minuteman National Historical Park, which commemorates the famous shot heard round the world and the very beginnings of our country. Like many national parks and public lands across the country, Minuteman and all those who visit have directly benefited from the Land and Water Conservation Fund. Barrett's Farm is the former home of Colonel James Barrett, the commander of the Middlesex Militia during the Revolutionary War. His farm was used to store colonial militia weapons and was the objective of the British March on Concord that inspired Paul Revere's Ride. British forces marched from Boston to seize the munitions stored at the farm, but Barrett's militia confronted the British soldiers at the North Bridge, where the shot heard round the world was fired, launching America's war for independence. For many years, this important historic site, Barrett's Farm, was privately owned, restricted from the public, and was in a complete state of disrepair. Thanks to the Land and Water Conservation Fund, the National Park Service was able to purchase Barrett's Farm from a willing private local foundation, ensuring that this nationally significant historical site is preserved to be enjoyed by visitors for many years to come. 50 years ago, our predecessors in this Congress had the wisdom and foresight to establish the Land and Water Conservation Fund for the benefit of future generations of Americans. Dismantling this program or letting its authorization expire disadvantages all in real and significant ways. I can't imagine how the loss of the important piece of history of Barrett's Farm that the LWCF made possible to preserve. I urge my colleagues to join me in supporting full funding and permanent reauthorization of the Land and Water Conservation Fund, making sure that it remains one of our nation's most successful and effective conservation tools. Thank you, and I yield back.